I speak on behalf of the West of Harrogate Forum, which comprises 4 residents' associations and 3 parish councils on the west side of Harrogate. It's universally acknowledged that the key to unlocking land for housing is infrastructure. This has been stated repeatedly, nationally, locally, by politicians, professionals, business and others, and is self-evidently vital to achieving sustainable communities and economic well-being. Now, the draft local plan allocates 25% of the entire district's housing requirement on the west side of Harrogate, an area with the poorest transport and other infrastructure, and with little scope to provide what would be necessary to support that level of development. The scale of what's proposed on the west side of Harrogate, with about 4,000 houses, is comparable in size to the new settlement on the east side of the district, but without the road and rail structure to support it. The inevitable consequence, as demonstrated by your own traffic modelling, will be increased congestion on Otley Road and enormous pressure on minor routes, including through nearby villages such as Pannell and North Rigton. Now, we welcome the recent announcement of the NPIF funding package, but it's clear that that will provide only limited capacity improvements and nothing like what will be needed to support thousands of new dwellings feeding directly into the Otley Road corridor. Recently, the Harrogate Area Committee of the County Council debated the Relief Road and sustainable transport options, which have the specific objective of reducing congestion so as to enable sustained economic growth. This objective is also quite rightly reflected in the draft local plan. For example, in policy TI1, seek reductions in traffic congestion, minimise the need to travel, locate developments close to railway stations, etc., etc. And yet, without the infrastructure to support it, the plan as currently drafted will have precisely the opposite effect of increasing congestion and air pollution. Certainly on the west side of Harrogate, where not only do we have one of the principal business parks, several primary and 3 large secondary schools, the main Harrogate police station, and the 4th largest visitor attraction in the whole of the Yorkshire region. The argument we would put is this: given what is financially and physically possible in terms of highways and sustainable transport options, any future development plans should be scaled back to match what can realistically be accommodated. Otherwise, the proposals will not comply with your own policies in the draft plan, not to mention the forward vision. So we say, 1, review the housing needs assessment. This year we've seen the annual figure increase by 20% with no explanation. In the last 3 years, it's been changed 5 times. The government's current proposals would suggest a lower figure, and a further review must be on the cards before submission. Secondly, determine the practical capacity of the Otley Road corridor for all transport modes, which conforms to the Council's objectives of reducing congestion. And thirdly, set a realistic limit to the quantity of housing in line with the Council's own policies and objectives. So far, each step of the plan has largely ignored the concerns expressed by many in this area. Despite all the comments, inputs, consultations, nothing of any substance has changed. We want to see a truly sustainable local plan adopted, and we would urge you to have regard to this petition. Thank you very much.